day after the Ducks Nut. Really want to thank all the volunteers and the race organisers, and of course Louise for coming down and spend the weekend with me on short notice. A great race, very tough race for anybody that's thinking of doing it. Pretty much day one, as you expect, 18k was hilly, set the tone. Day two was 106k with 3,900 feet of elevation, and really that's whenever things start to get really tough. And then day three, the 53k, really hard. And look, I find it hard for a few reasons. One, it became really clear to me at that point that I was coughing, a sore throat, couldn't keep my temperature down, couldn't keep my heart rate down. Just the cold that was coming on at the late last week took into full effect, and then there was I'd say heat stroke from the Saturday. Didn't seem awful Sunday, and I didn't put on sun cream. Lesson learned. I wore a black compression top in under my thing, which maybe cooked me a bit, because all night Saturday night after the race I found it very hard to get my core temperature down. Another thing that I noticed after Saturday was just the quads were totally smashed. I've had it before in races where they get fatigued and tight, but never so much in one area. On the bright side, my Achilles didn't play up, which is something that I have been really concerned about, apart from the last kind of 18k on day 3, but it had already done well over 6,000 feet of climbing, or 600 meters, 6,000 meters of climbing at that stage, so I was really happy with the way it reacted. Nutrition wise, I went with the gels, as I explained on the first day, due to just not having my throat too sore to actually try and get down solid food. Had no real negative effect from the gels, only after 7 or 8 hours of taking them on the Saturday I just didn't want to take any more. But all in all, I'll just say Saturday went not too bad. A good time. Nick O'Neill came on and paced me for the last 50k for the second loops, and did a great job. Nick, awesome, thank you. You just kept going. Didn't give me an excuse to stop, didn't mention anything about how I was feeling or how fatigued. You just kept in front of me enough that I could see you and enough to keep the pace going, so really appreciate that. And as I say, thanks so much for coming out, giving up your time to do that. So it was much appreciated, buddy. I hope I can return the favour someday. Volunteers on Saturday again, out of the world. And look, I do want to take this opportunity to say sorry for not looking back on the clips for the race weekend. I certainly didn't get many clips of the volunteers and of the race itself other than me running. A couple of reasons for that. I'm still a little bit new to this, shy, embarrassed of doing it, I suppose, at races. It's better than the light horse, where I never even took it out of my pocket, on the bright side, so I am getting better. But it has led me to think I should just hand over the GoPro coming to each aid station, and get the people at the aid station to do a little piece on the aid station, not of me. So that's an improvement I'm going to make going forward. But as I say, the support and just the encouragement to keep going and all at them aid stations, it's really appreciated. Came at a much needed time, just after the tough parts, and whenever things got hard, it was, as I say, perfect timing in terms of when it was needed. Uh, Day 2, my watch died at 80k, so I've no idea how long it took me. I'll see whenever the race time goes up. I'm guessing somewhere 12 or 14 hours, 12 or 13 hours, I'm not really sure. Day 1 was 2.5 hours for the 18k, or 2:18 or something like that there. And day 3 was 9 hours or something like that. As I say, time, I wasn't doing it for the time. I did end up taking home 3rd place in the male category for the Duck's Nest. Pretty sure there was only 4 of us in it, but I don't know how many was in it. It's certainly not what I imagined, or not what I was aiming for whenever I went and booked into it the week before. It was certainly just a case of using it as a training session and getting out. In fact, halfway through the race yesterday, halfway through the 3rd day, I was wishing I hadn't done the 30k the week before, on the Sunday before, because whether that added to the quads being smashed or what, I'm not sure. But so look, I suppose a few things that I have learned out of this weekend, and hopefully that you can maybe take something out of, is one, having the body prepared to just kind of enter a race and do it. As I say, I really didn't expect to get running this weekend. Certainly that. It used it as a long weekend of training, which turned out really, really good. Sunscreen, possibly white clothes, keep a thing. Scared me last night a bit. Whenever I got into the car with Louise, couldn't stop shaking. Couldn't slow my heart rate down a bit. It was definitely a mixture between heat stroke and probably the cold working on me. But even last night, whenever I got into bed, even though I had extra clothes on and things like that there, I was just shivering, couldn't control my shaking. So, lessons learned. We might think we're capable of doing a lot more, and we all like to push our bodies, but we gotta be very careful too. Been much better today, thankfully. How I recovered last night, how my kind of night went. Every kind of hour and a half, I wake up, take a pee or take a drink of water, and Powerade out a bottle of each beside the bed. Shuffle to the toilet, and I mean shuffle. Do a pee and repeat pretty much all night long. For Louise, probably was sick of me getting out of the bed and rattling back and forth to the toilet. But I find that has helped recovery well. Anybody that has kind of done that type of distance or long things, it's just really important to make sure them few hours after the race you're getting in lots of nutrition, lots of things. Sometimes chocolate and things like that there beside the bed, just nibbling on it. But when my throat was still sore, so I couldn't go with that. That's why I went with kind of Powerade to get the calories in, and water just to keep hydrated. So seems to have worked really well. Not long out of the shower, and I haven't really looked at my feet yet. But all in all, and I don't really know who really cares about my feet, but seems to have been a bit of a blister here, which was certainly happening before the race, so not too bad on the left foot. Now my right foot, I was concerned I had a big blister in under my toe, under my little toe, but turns out it was just, could have been a stone. So really, really happy with the way the feet has held up. Now I suppose that's maybe because it was so much walking and elevation. As I say, kind of 6,000 something meters of the over the weekend is certainly the most I've ever done. And I suppose I wasn't running all that time, which maybe it's helped with the blisters, but I felt really good. My feet, a few aches and pains, but let's be honest, they just did do 100 odd mile. So no, really happy with the blisters. Preventing measures for the blisters this time. I didn't bother taping. I did put some Vaseline on my feet before I put my socks on. Just kind of give it a light smearing out around my feet and out around my things. Put my finger socks on, and yeah, it seems to have really done the trick. Worried about my shoes. Was waiting on my new Hokas coming all for the last 6 weeks before. They're still not here. So ended up going with my old pair of Hokas, which was pretty much done, and kept letting in stones. And then after 50k switched to the Brooks, and they seem to go really well. Insoles, I did put in insoles for that little bit of extra support. I have been running that this last kind of while. That could potentially have something to do with my Achilles being better as well, which I'm really happy with that's the case. If that's the reason, as I say, I'm just happy it's not sore. So yeah, look, as I say, I hope you have got something out of this. Can't recommend the race enough. Whether you do there's just distances there for everybody. Whether you go and do one race for the weekend, whether you do all 3 races, whatever the distances is, really great bunch of people down there. The weather held out. A little bit of rain on the Sunday afternoon, some on the Friday evening, but all in all, weather held out really well. But such a great atmosphere to be around so many like-minded people, regardless of what they were trying to achieve. And as I say, a huge thank you to the volunteers and Sean and David. I don't know, David, why I forgot your name there, but a huge thanks for the race organisers and all the guys helping out down there. Truly an amazing bunch of people to be down about the thing. If you ever want a little bit of inspiration, just show up to one of the races, and you'll always be treated to a great atmosphere. Like-minded people that just want to improve and get the best out of themselves, and that's the key thing. It's not about competing with other people, it's not about finishing times or racing, and it's just about getting the best out of yourself and meeting good people along the way. So I can't thank everybody enough for making myself and Louise feel welcome this weekend, and for everybody that kind of give me the support on the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. I am still wrapping my head around it, so it was a bit embarrassing, but I'm really privileged that people are giving up their time to watch us. And yeah, look, thanks for watching again, and hopefully maybe next year you'll want to book in and do it. So till the next time, have fun.